What's up, gang? Okay, so here we go, upper body circuit today. 3 rounds. We got 3 supersets coming up. Let's get warming up. So first things first, where's your posture? I got a little crown on the top of my hat. I want you to pretend like you're a marionette and it's pulling you up. So we're going from here to here. We're going from here to here, okay? Call this our posture line. I want you to think about your spine being elongated from the roof to your tailbone. Tailbone's reaching to the floor, just like such. Nice and tall, knees are soft, pelvis is tucked under just a little bit. And from here, I want you to march. And remember, when we march, all we're trying to do is get you to become aware of your posture, where, as you can see in my background, I'm not wavering side to side, okay? Proprioception, this is waking the brain up. It's also getting blood flow going out of my center and into my periphery. Keeping and maintaining that neutral spine, that little bit of posterior tilt, reaching the head, the crown of the head to the ceiling, and none of this, none of that. So try to be as still as possible, as aware as possible, breathing through the lower rib cage. We're going parallel with the thighs. Nice breathing. And we're going to go forward and out, above your shoulders. Okay, so not down here, above your shoulders. All we're doing is getting the heart rate up pretty quick. We're getting some heat going. This is a really good standard warm-up because it does both of those things quickly. Breathing, you'll hear me breathe because I got my mic on. Should be good to go. And now let's add a straight up, forward, out, straight up, forward, out. Like such, yep. And let's actually pick it up. That's the hard part, picking it up. Notice too, what you have to do from a brain perspective takes a little bit of coordinating to be aware of here, what I'm doing with my legs and what I'm doing with my arms. I mess this up all the time. I'll be talking at you today, so it may not always work into a good rep scheme for you. So shake it out. Just remember that when you're working, since it's band work, work within your limits, okay? So down, close gate, open gate, close gate. Still aware of my posture. Hips, open up that hip, switch, open gate, close gate. And I hold this here like I'm doing so that I know my pelvis can move under my still torso. That way I'm getting a little bit of separation between my upper and lower body. Okay, good. Quick workout, or warm up, excuse me. Let's hit it. See if we can do this pretty. Okay, squats, body weight squats. Shoulders width. Tuck your butt a little bit. Arms out, knees go forward. Maximize the dorsiflexion in your ankle, keeping your spine flat. Come up. Very much definitely a squat. This is a knee version of a squat, not a hip version of a squat, which really, as mountain bikers, athletes, we need to take advantage of our dorsiflexion, and this squat does that. Also helps work on being aware of our spine, what our lumbar spine is doing. You can reach back here and hold to maintain this neutral spine. Maximizing, again, dorsiflexion, knee flexion. You'll feel this a little bit, we call it quad dominant sometimes, versus this being a little more glute dominant, which is fine. We still have pressure in the back part of our foot. You will feel a little more in your forefoot, and that's fine too. As you come up, squeeze, still working with the good posture, okay? Next we go single arm band or cable. So take your stick, make sure that your band is stuck in your door or wherever, it's not gonna come out. Wrap your pinky around it so we can do a single arm press, just like such. So step out accordingly. I'm gonna cheat because I can take advantage of my weight stack, pushing straight in and out. My body feet square, pelvis square, everything's square, and you'll feel these rotation, the rotational force working through your body from my left leg over to my right arm, and you're resisting that. This is also anti-rotation training. Switch, which all athletes need. Okay, same thing. This will also bring out some core weakness, and it'll show you a discrepancy in the side of what shoulder's weak, let's say, what shoulder girdle doesn't work well. Thank y'all for joining, appreciate it. Hope this is benefiting you during these tough times. Hopefully there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Got 2 more. And rest, good job. Okay, so again, we can do a lot with what we got at home. So what we call check press. I'm gonna start light here. I'm a little tired from my last couple of rides the last couple of days. So what I want you to do is take anything that's weighted, whatever that is for you. We're gonna go forearms vertical, open the book, push straight up, come back down. Open, squeeze the shoulder blades, up, come back down. Notice my spine angles do not change. What a lot of people do is they lean back in order to get here, okay? Don't do that if you can. If you can't get the overhead, work within the range that you can. The other thing you don't want to do, is let your head go forward. No pigeon heads. Squeeze the shoulder blades, up, down. Squeeze the shoulder blades, last one, up, down. Okay, last one, single arm rear delt raise. You can take those same dumbbell if you want. Let's get into a nice low position. Wherever you can get hinge-wise with a flat low back. Going straight up. Elbow is soft but locked. Soft but locked. My body isn't moving. I'm lifting the arm up like such, okay? So nice and low. Get that shoulder blade to the spine. Shoulder blade to the spine. One more. This is my compromised shoulder. So you'll be able to see the change in range for me is less because I get pinched out up here from a past injury. So I work within what I can, and I don't let myself get ugly in my form. Breathe in normally because this isn't a heavy weight. Still trying to glide that shoulder blade over to the spine. And rest. Okay, quick rest here. We've got a minute. Hey y'all. Resting, breathing, we've got to rest. Don't forget when you train, one of the most important things that you can do, literally one of the most important things you can do, is rest, recover. That is when you get better, okay? Not by blasting yourself 7 days in a row, being tired, going out, and being compromised, which is when most injuries happen, by the way, when you're compromised or you're tired, for example, if you're riding or racing or whatever it is you're doing from an athlete's perspective. Most injuries happen when you are compromised from overtraining, not enough recovery, and just general fatigue. Set 2, let's do it again. Squats. Remember these squats here? I really like, this is more of a body awareness squat than it is a let's gain some muscle or let's work on our strength, because what you want to do is maximize and learn how to do this properly. Then we start loading. This is very easy on the hips, knees, and ankles. Yes, we went through a time period where we were taught don't let your knees go over your toes, but that was mostly for lunging, because we don't want to do a lunge and have our front heel come up. We want to maximize all our joints' mobility potentials every time we train. And that's what we're doing here. While really, for those of you who have back issues, this is a perfect squat for you because we stay really neutral in our spine. Nothing happens here. Really allows you to get into those hips as well. and teaches you to get into, if you have tight ankles, it's going to be hard for you to do, okay, or an ankle injury. Single arm band cable, switch sides. Again, if you put it right here, you can wrap your thumb over, it doesn't matter. Actually, I like it the other way. I like my pinky. And we're here, right? So we can do it this way, but because I can, I'm using the cable. Out. This is about a 202 pace, which is normal. 202 means I'm going to go 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. If you see something like a 2-1-2 tempo, that means 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. The middle is always a pause. Going longer, like we will in our push-ups later, makes it harder. Time under tension is really important, particularly if you're a mountain biker, because that's all we're doing is time under tension. Whether we're climbing, and especially when we're downhill and it's time under tension, we're dealing with the forces that are coming from our bike, and our bike is dealing with forces that's coming from the ground. So we have these ground reaction forces and an unstable object and a small contact, 2 small contact points that our brain works to manage, and for a lot of us at high speeds. And for those of you who it's not high speeds, you'll get there. Just keep on trying. Okay, from here we go to the check press. Oh, good old fashioned shoulder burner. Squeeze up, straight down. Squeeze the shoulder blades up together, straight down. Squeeze up, straight down. Thanks again for all y'all joining. Appreciate it. Feel fortunate to be able to do this with you, to help you, and to work through form. Teach you how to move well, which is crucial. Junk in, junk out. Good stuff in, good stuff out. Because remember, I don't care if you're a mountain biker, I don't care if you're a golfer, you're still an athlete first. Athlete first, build the athlete, makes whatever sport you want to get good at or play or be regular at, it makes you better at it. Okay, last time I started on my left, so I'm going rear delt raise with my right to start. Good flat neutral spine, good hip hinge. Riders, we can go downhill position if we want. And then we switch halfway, of course, because you want to switch feet when downhilling through the non-techie stuff. Ouch. Any other athletes watching also do the same thing. Telemark skiers, you want to switch, right? Tennis players, switch, it's good for you. Hockey players, baseball hitters, pitchers for that matter. 1-4 for me, good job. Rest. Drink your water, peeps. Half your body weight in ounces each day. Hydration is crucial to the overall function of everything in your body, particular fascia, and fascia basically is in everything in our body, from our muscles to our organs to the suspension systems to the ligaments, tendons, you name it, and it's all in continuity, Dr. Giboy says. All in one, essentially. Everything's tied together. It's like taking a spider web or the stuff that people use in Halloween to put on their bushes. If you put that out nicely and you pull on, it's going to affect the whole web all the way through the system, which is, by the way, how a spider knows that something's on it. It touches over here, even though the spider's over here, it knows because it travels. Same thing. You got dysfunction in your ankle, it's going to affect your knee. It's going to affect your hip. May even affect your opposite shoulder, for example, okay? Keep that in mind. Hydration is crucial because your fascia is mostly water, and those little tiny tubules of fascia actually transfer water, okay? So think about that. Dr. Boyer also says 45 days to hydrate your fascia alone, okay? So we don't want to be beef jerky, we want to be filet mignon. And if you're getting old like I am, want to be somewhere in the middle, like flank steak, okay? So, all right, last one, squats. I'll do it this way this time. I'm going to pick it up just a little bit. I'm going to count for myself. You guys know now what I expect form-wise. Do it. Normal breathing pattern. Give yourself a butt punch every once in a while. Make sure those glutes are contracted at the top, because that's what your glutes do. They extend the hips. I'm shooting for about 15. I'm already forgotten what number, but I'm going to say this is it. Okay, back to your band bar contraption. Narrow your stance up a little bit if you want to make it a little harder through the core. Feet closer, make it harder. Feet apart, make it easier. The other thing you want to do is try to breathe separately from your movement, because that's what we do when we ride, and that's typically what we do for a good amount of sports. Rhythmic breathing on sports can be beneficial if you can master it, but when riding, especially downhill, you're breathing, and you can't create a cyclical breathing pattern because of everything that's coming after you. Moto, same thing. Excellent. Check press. Open, up, down. Squeeze the shoulder blades, up, down. Neutral spine in your body, doesn't move. Up, down. Squeeze, up, down. Again, normal breathing. Good. Okay, rear delt. Started with left, ending with left. Let's get low. Come on. As low as you can get that butt back, sticking that thing out. If you can only go here and keep your back flat, well, that's all you can do. You could just hear that I just was overemphasizing my breathing. A little bit of a bad habit that I've been working on. Switch whenever you're ready. This is only 5 pounds, so I shouldn't need to hold my breath to help. So when I consciously recognize it, like I just did and sharing with you, I just keep breathing. So I'm consciously focused on my breathing and my move, which is about all my brain can handle. Okay. Resting. Hopefully you guys are staying healthy during all this, eating clean as much as you can, sharing toilet paper with your neighbors as they yeah, never mind, I'll leave that one alone. So if you wouldn't mind, share these with somebody you know who might be struggling. The physical outlet helps reduce that emotional stress, as we all know, and that can help people a lot. Even if somebody doesn't work out regularly, they should be able to do this, and just do one set. Start with one set. You can only do what you can do. If you can only do 2 sets of these, that's great too. If you're frisky and want to do 4 or 5, hey, that's your choice. I just want to be here, be a little source of motivation, along with my big chia pet I got going on my head, and burgers and biceps. So this one, we're going to use a band down at the bottom of your door. So put your band at the bottom of your door, and we're going to go a bent over rhomboid exercise, where I'm going to have you use like the back of a chair or a bench, for example, which is what I'm going to use. So we're going to put our foreheads right there on that surface, whatever you choose, wherever that is. And then the third one, we're doing side planks for the obliques, them obliques. So we'll be right here. Okay, you ready? Yes, thanks you guys. Stoked y'all are here. So from this point, make sure you're stuck in the door. Remember with bands, you always want to check your bands just like you check your exercise ball to make sure that it may not break. If you watch any of my prior recordings on Facebook, you'll see that I think workout 2, which was a Thursday, I think, one of the bands broke. I actually had a swollen knuckle for like 2 days. So we're going to go into a lunge position where my opposite leg is forward, arm is pointing up at about 45, and we're going straight up. Straight up. Make sure the middle of your kneecaps are tracking over your second toe. And obviously with bands, it's always the hardest at the end range of motion, which is why I don't like using bands for long term, because they can't create strength. They can be a little risky if they're old, which maybe many of yours is old because you're just pulling them out of the basement or the garage after who knows how long, right? So if there's cracking in those bands, just beware. Switch. 45. Good lunge position. So we got a little dynamic move in our exercise for our lower body with our squats. And here's a static move where everything is staying still while our upper body, shoulder blades, arm work to make this move happen. And one more. Good. Okay, so on this one, here's what it looks like from that view. I'm going to be here and my shoulder blades are going to be dropped and away. I'm going to reach up at 45 and I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades back in together at the top. Okay, so it's back in together and then they're going to go back down and around. So I'm hugging something, reaching to the ground. Now I'm reaching up and reaching away at the same time. Okay, so here we are. Get flat. If you can't get flat, choose an area where you can get flat. Now, this is not for you to lean on. It's only for proprioception to keep a good spine angle. So if somebody knocked out whatever you had your hair or your head on, I'm not going to move. Squeeze the shoulder blades up and together, all the way apart. Squeeze them up and together, all the way apart. The other thing you don't want to do is be pushing your forehead into, in my case, the bench. So I'm not pushing my forehead with pressure. Should be no pressure. It's only awareness. Because my spine is going away from each other. I'm still working that good posture that we started with. Good job. Okay, last one. Plank. On your hand. If you can't do it on your hand, then you can do it on your forearm. But I'm going to go hand. My wrist is a little bit forward of my shoulder. My bottom leg is going to be forward. Hand on. I'm going to go about 2 inches down, 2 up. 2 down, 2 up. You're going to feel this big time in your oblique. You're going to feel this in your shoulder. Also the bottom hip, lateral hip. Notice my head's in line with my posture of my body, just like I would be standing up. It's not here. Do as many as you can, and then we switch. Bottom leg forward. Okay, we're here. Good posture. Make sure that your head's not out in space like this. It's back in alignment. You should not be able to see your toes in your bottom part of the peripheral of your eyes. If you can, that means your head's forward. And you're going to notice a weakness on these sides. This is my weaker side because of appendix burst surgery, my appendectomy. And so I struggle with scar tissue related to that. And it frustrates me because it's been 10 long years, for gosh sakes. All right, hey guys, thanks for being here. Rest, drinky. Round 2 coming up. So part of all this is we don't want to crush ourselves during this time. You know, going to 80%, that's fine, but our normal training program regimen should be back down in intensity right now so that we're encouraging our body and our immune systems to stay strong and not go through periods of weakness so that we can resist anything that might come our way, so that we can be healthy for, you know, obviously ourselves, but more importantly our family, friends, etc. So keep that in mind. It's really easy for me to crush you, all right? That's not a problem. So the hard part for us typically, and at this time of year, because from a periodization standpoint and a macro cycle for a training plan, this time of year for bikers, for example, for moto, for summer sports, we're usually in this kind of a strength phase or a power phase, getting ready to start performing for the summer. So keep that in mind. You just got to be smart right now, okay? But even though we're not using that much weight, you still get a nice little pump and you still get some care, and that's all that matters. Okay, back to the incline band press. This time we're going to mix it up. We're going to go square, narrow. Square, narrow. And what I want you to think about is pushing your knees out with tension in the lateral quad and up here in your hips. You should feel tension in that entire lower body as you're going through this move because you push those knees out. So we're statically emphasizing, static without movement, quad contraction as well as hip contraction, hip stabilizer contraction, switch. Again, we go narrow, push out, 45 degrees, and we're pressing. Of course, for those of you lucky enough to have a home gym with a cable machine or something you can do this with, then by all means, do it. Pay attention to that breathing. Good job. Back to rhomboid. Forehead on. Butt back, flat, balanced, light head. Going from reaching down to the floor, pulling it up, squeezing those together. Reaching to the floor, squeezing those together. You'll notice right now, you tend to want to push your head in. Don't. Five more, come on. Or if you're done, you're done. I don't care. Still got to work within your limits. Plus, when you isolate a muscle group like that does, you can tend to quickly get fatigued if you're tired or if you're weak in those areas. Okay, right hand, opposite side start, down leg forward. For me on this one, because I was just telling you about my surgery, I have to roll forward just a little bit to help hit that oblique for me. Otherwise, my QL on this side overactivates. That also brings up another point too. Your back leg when you downhill, okay, which is my right, will tend to have an overactive hip flexor psoas. That too can come into play. Inside forward, and not allowing you to feel it as much in your oblique. So you might battle a little bit with a hip flexor or low back muscle one on that. Squeezing. I tap. That's an external source of brain muscle recognition that helps bring a little bit more isolation or awareness to that particular area that you want to concentrate on. Rest. Good job. Wow, empty vacations. What is up? Thank y'all for joining if you're live. Thankful for that. Every Tuesday, Thursday, 9 a.m., Insta and Facebook. I'm trying to do an update right now. No thanks. Let's see, what else? Sleep. We should all be pro sleepers right now, particularly for those of us like me who can't work, which has been 7 weeks. Very frustrating and very stressful, actually. Don't forget, you can find a lot of these, the links to the live Facebook, for example, the recordings, and then also the prior Pink Bike, and then the prior home workout videos that I've created over on my blog, www.enduromtbtraining.com/blog. Okay, so you have access to good free training. And then we just did a website update too, where you have all your home choices to choose from as it relates to training programs, so you can stay on it. Once this thing's over, you're already consistent and fighting back. Okay, back to the inclines, going back to what I started with, which was my right. Let's go even closer feet. Closer feet. Last two. Switch. Closer feet. Man, I can't wait to go on a trip. My son and I were supposed to go to Moab already. My family and I were supposed to go to Washington, D.C. next week for 7 days. My wife and I had to cancel a continuing education course for Dr. Guy Boyer's material with Dan Hellman, Bryce Turner down in Fort Lauderdale. We had to cancel that. The fall we had to cancel. We had to cancel going to Savannah, Georgia because of the hurricane. Sheesh, just want to go somewhere. Okay, rhomboids. I'm sure y'all feel the same way, huh? Good position. I'm not going to talk much. This is super important, by the way, for shoulder stability. Remember your shoulder blade, your shoulder girdle is more of a stabilizer to create a platform upon which your arm can articulate through the glenohumeral joint to work as your arm. If your shoulder blade doesn't work, your scapula doesn't work well, you're going to get banging, flecking, and popping and everything else in your shoulder joint. Yeah. Okay, last one. Remember, if you can't do it on your hand, you can do it on your forearm. Think about 3 inches up, 3 inches down, or 2 and 2, or 1 and 1, whatever you can do. Squeezing, tapping. Also get a lot of good hand work in here, wrist work in here, because it's stabilizing this move. So we get a lot of good proprioception in the hand going too. See, compared to the first set now, I've got access to this oblique muscle, which I did in the beginning in the first and second set. So tapping helps, concentrating helps, visualization helps. Good job. So during our break, it's one thing we can talk about is, right now is a perfect time, if you compete, to visualize your competitions. The ones that you've been missing, the one coming up that's still on the schedule, put your head into it. Plus, it'll keep you engaged mentally. Going back, watching any GoPros that you have from past competitions, either POV or from the outside, really using all of these tools that we have, both inside our brains and then externally with, say, with video and whatnot. So use them. Okay, the last set here, we have a bent over row. So you can either use dumbbells or a band, or shoot kettlebells or bricks, weighted, or milk jug, sand, anything that you got at home is perfect. Okay. Then we're going to do some push-ups with some sliders and some Russian twists with a band. So your band, take your light to medium band and put it down here where your incline band was in the bottom of your door. And we got our ball there. I don't think, did I say we needed this? We're going to do a push-up with sliders. Now, the push-up with sliders are going to be problematic because it doesn't slide very well on this surface for me. So I'm going to do it on the mat because this has got a bunch of the rubber from so much use from our turf surface, and it makes it really super sticky. So those are really, those sliders, the round sliders, all they are furniture movers. You can also use your socks on a wood floor, or like an open smooth cement surface. So anything along those lines work fine. Or just cut out pieces of cardboard or a piece of paper. Paper plates work too. Okay, bent over row with dumbbells or bands. So your bands, I'm just going to show you real quick. We go step on it, or you can wrap it around something low, like the bottom of a couch, the underneath of a coffee table perhaps, and we can go grab down the band and you can do rows like such. Okay, I'm going to use dumbbells because I can. So we're going to go good posture position, but I want you to be low again. So go a little wider in your stance. Back is flat. Okay, from here, we're pulling straight up, squeezing. Just old-fashioned rows. Go ahead and keep going. I want something heavier because I can. So if you have dumbbells, do something like 8 to 10. If you have bands, seek for like 15. We always have to do a little more reps with the bands. One more. Yeah. Okay, good job. Then we're going to go push-ups with the sliders. Double knee sliders. Okay, so I'm going to do a push-up and a slide in. Push-up and a slide in. Don't lose posture down at the bottom. None of this, right? Your nose should really be the first thing to touch the ground. Your back is flat, but it can round here. That's okay. Think about your abs, pulling your pubic bone towards your rib cage. You'll find that doing those really adds an element that makes it difficult. Thanks again if you're live with me. I appreciate it. Then we're going to go Russian twists. So you got that band set up already. Get on your ball, roll forward. I'm going to take my outside hand, grab the band first, then put my inside on it. So it looks like that, okay? My head's going to rest on the ball. Hips are high. Ankles under knees. I'm going to turn and turn, turn, turn. Your head can stay still or go along if you want. Just know that your ball is going to work. towards the attachment point. So my ball is shimmying to the right. Okay, good job. Switch. Hold on a sec. Gotta change my mic. Come on, get on there. There we go. Outside hand, inside hand on top of outside hand. Twist. Whoa! That's the thing about band versus doing this with a dumbbell, is that band's really trying to pull you towards the attachment point. So you can see how much I'm having to move, and I'm sure you're experiencing the same thing. Looking for about 15 or so. Sweet. Rest. Drink. I got about 77% heart rate on that. I forgot to mention earlier, I hit about 81, 82. Leg day, last leg day, we'll do it again Thursday. I was in the 82, 83 after some of those supersets. Yeah, percent of heart rate. So good job, people. Thank you for working hard, being here. We're almost done. 2 more sets and we'll do a couple stretches and you'll be out of here feeling better about yourself. Go get a nice protein shake. Better yet, get some food. Okay. I'm going to move this closer to my band so it's not in the way of my ball for those Russian twists, since it was getting in the way. Okay, second set coming up. Back to bent over rows. Emphasize that hip hinge. Neutral spine. I'm going to get closer to you guys this time. Emphasize the hip hinge, back flat. Pull. Remember that 202 tempo. One more for me. Now earlier I said slowing down the tempo on the push-ups. It's hard to do on this, but we're going to try it anyway, okay? And that is a slow push-up. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, up. 3. Oh yeah, much harder, slower. Trying to time the extension of my legs with the down up position. You should have probably gotten close to half or even 2/3 from the prior set. That's how much harder that is. Okay, Russian twist with the band. Outside hand, turn it. Just keep that head straight. So look at something vertical on your ceiling above you. Not that way, but that way. Turning the shoulders and tucking the shoulders. So think about tucking the shoulder fully, tucking the shoulder fully. This band definitely makes the ball much more active than doing Russian twists with a dumbbell. Tuck the shoulder. Butt should be burning. Yeah. Yeah, mama. Rest. There's my 80% up there. Good job, people. Oh, let's see too. I'm at about 500 calories right now, 45 minutes. It's not bad. Just as a reference, on energy expended with mostly body weight and some and few pieces of equipment, which is good. Okay, about another 20 seconds. And we will go last set here, and we'll hit some myofascial stretches. One thing you think about fascially, if you think of a sausage, think of that outside casing is what fascia looks like to a muscle, the inside of the sausage being what every muscle fiber and it just builds and builds. So if you take 6 sausages and put them together, that would look like, for example, a muscle motor unit, or just a regular striated muscle tissue. It's all together, it's all separate, all working together to contract or relax. So fascia stretching is important from that perspective. One of the things. Okay, back to bent over rows. Down, pulling. Oh, excuse me. I did say motor unit. I didn't mean that. I meant muscle fiber. So, my bad. Okay, I'm going to get closer here with the push-up and the sliders. So now let's play with like a 101, because we started with like a 202. We did a 303. Now let's do a 101. Okay, so we're down. Takes about a second to do both. Man, those are hard. Okay, last set. There we go. I'm gonna count, people. You know what to do. Let's do it. 15. Switch. Yeah, a little quicker than last time. Five more. Two. One. Yeah. Good job, gang. Nice work. Stay with me. Stay with me. Let's do some myofascial stretches. Okay, grab your mat. I want you to grab your ball. You can also do this on an ottoman, a bench. If you don't have a ball with you, a chair, edge of the bed. But what I'm going to do is get my arm 90 degrees on the ball. My hips and knees are 90 degrees. My knees are under my hips, and my wrist is under my shoulders. From here, I'm going to lower my chest on the right side. See how I didn't bend my elbow? To get a stretch, okay? Lowering my right chest to the floor. far as I can go, which is right there. I'm gonna relax here, 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now contract, push your arm into the ball, 20, 30% effort. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop pushing, sink your shoulder, lower it to the ground because you should be able to. You can see there's my new range. I'm gonna relax in my new range. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax and sink. Okay, my left elbow bent just a little bit. Relax in the new position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax and sink again. Okay. Generally, it's good to do this one every day because it helps create or prevent this poor posture thing. And do 2 sets each side. We'll do 1 today. Okay, lowering left shoulder, right elbow straight. There's my stretch. Relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax and sink if you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax and sink. I'm going to do 1 more. And push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And sink. Good job. Okay. Next. Let's do a lat stretch. And what I'm going to do on this, pay attention, there's 4 parts to it. I'm going to sit back. Well, I'm going to start here. I'm going to go across midline for my right side. I'm going to go Spider-Man. Okay. I'm going to sink back with my right hip away from my left hand. My right hand, I'm going to reach forward with my right hand, reach back with my right hip. I'm going to push this armpit down and out at the same time. Reach forward aggressively with the right arm, reaching down with the armpit, out with the armpit, and away with the hip. And you breathe. Oh, shaky. Come out slowly. We switch across midline. I'm going to reach with Spider-Man. I'm going to push my left armpit to the floor and out at the same time. Left hip goes back while my right hand or left hand reaches forward. Reaching forward, left hand, left hip goes back, shoulder blade down and out all at the same time. Oh, good. Okay, we got to hit the booty because we always do the booty. Glute max, deep glute max, myofascial stretch. Cross your leg over the other. If you can, grab the knee. If you can't, grab behind the knee. Turn both feet out. Head is neutral. Crown of head is working away. Now, this is a battle between pulling this way and keeping my tailbone on the floor. So push your tailbone to the floor, then start to pull you're not going to pull very far at all, but try to create tension pulling your left leg towards your chest, but you can't let that tailbone come up. So there's a battle. It's almost like you're arching your back, but you're not. You're simply pushing your tailbone turned out. And you should feel a big, deep stretch in that right glute if your right leg is over your left. Okay, and we switch. Left over right. Grab the knee or behind the knee. Feet out. Tailbone to the floor. Lightly pull, keeping tailbone on the floor. With these myofascial stretches, you want to do these in like 3 sets. Okay, this is the left side, so this is the second half of the first set. At like a 30% effort level, your first set. Then we would go back and do it again at a 60% level, and then we do it again at a 90% level where you're working that hard. Okay, that's how you do myofascial stretches. Now, last one, because a lot of us, as we get back to riding, might experience golfers, tennis players, a lot of forearm issues. So we're going to go fingers facing close to my knees. And I'm turning my elbow space towards you, not in. So turning my elbows out. Okay, and then I'm going to sit back to increase my stretch. Now, I said turn them out. Now start to turn them in towards each other. Oh, now you're really going to feel some good stretching. Okay, if you can't do it on the floor, feel free to stand and do it on, say, a chair, where you kind of do the same thing, right? And you just lean back a little bit, okay? Turn them in towards each other. Ooh, yeah. That is good. Should feel that big time right here. And these wrist flexors, okay? If you go like this, if you flex, you'll feel this. You can go here. If you flex, you'll feel your thumb move. If you extend, you'll feel your forefinger move. That's your flexors, extensors. So speaking of extensors, let's go palms down, or top of the wrists down, fingers apart. Turn your elbows away from you, your elbow spaces away from you this way, and then sit back. And then keep turning them out. Keep turning them out on this. Now, on each one of those, you can go here, here, and here. You can go here, here, and here on those, okay? Okay, excellent, you guys. Good job. Questions, info@enduromtbtraining.com. I'm here to help. If you have no job, if you are a first responder and a trucker, anybody that's really been helping the infrastructure and the health of people, and you want a program, let me know. I will donate one to you. Just send me an email. Anybody in your family that needs something like that, let me know. I am willing. Go like me on Facebook and Instagram. Please, Enduro MTB Training. And like I said, if I can help in any way, that would be awesome. You guys take care, and please use these to advantage. If you're live, hang with me for a second. We'll see you guys next time. See ya.